Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome back. It's so good to see you. Today, I am recording this on Veterans Day, but my internet is a little spotty, so you may be receiving this on November 12th. I'm not sure. So good to see you all. Well, I made a phone call to the Texas Roadhouse and discovered that there are indeed cameras inside the restaurant. And maybe some of you knew that, other creators call, but I like to do it for myself, verify things for myself. There are cameras inside the Texas Roadhouse, and that brings me to a lot of different points, a lot of falsehoods. And you know what? I'm done calling them inconsistencies, falsehoods, oopses. We're almost to 9 months, so we're just going to call them bold-faced lies, in my opinion. This is Crime Time Buzz. Thank you so much for being here. We are discussing Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers today, who was reported missing on February 26, 2024. He was last seen February 25th, 2024, and was under the supervision of his mother. His biological father was at work and is on camera and verified alibi at work. Everything we say today is alleged, my opinion, my speculation. No one is being accused. I am alleging. It is not to be taken as fact. It is for entertainment purposes only. And you know what? I am quite discouraged to live in a world where a child is missing and a mother's not searching. And I'm just going to say it out loud. We all know, we've seen it. People ask, wonder, because it's not right. Doesn't feel right to us, does it? Goes against everything we stand for. And I'm a little discouraged. The whole world is looking for this young man because his father ignited the whole world. He wouldn't stop. But we have a mother that won't search, that won't do interviews and beg, plead, raise awareness, who doesn't attend vigils or plan vigils of her own if it's because they don't want to be at the same one together, who's not doing things. That's the world we live in right now, and it's a little discouraging when everyone around the world is searching for a young man, except one person who should care more than anyone. So we have that. I'm going to tell you what this leads to. We also have a sheriff who can't be bothered. We have TBI, in my opinion. That's what this one's about today. Why the footage wasn't revealed. So hit that subscribe and notification bell, because from now on, I'm going to be posting video after video about the lies that have been told and caught on interviews after interviews after interviews. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for being here. So, last proof of life is at the Texas Roadhouse. I have called Indeed, and there are cameras inside the restaurant, and that raises a lot of questions. But first, before we begin, I want to talk about obstruction of justice. And I even looked it up in Tennessee just to make sure they didn't have some weird rules. In Tennessee, obstruction of justice is a criminal offense that occurs when someone intentionally prevents or obstructs a law enforcement officer or someone acting at their direction from performing their duties. Obstruction of justice is a serious crime that can damage a person's reputation and record. The charge and penalty for obstruction of justice depends on whether the crime was related to a felony or misdemeanor case. For example, providing false information about a minor car accident is likely to result in a misdemeanor charge, while misdirecting the police during a murder investigation could result in felony charges. Obstruction of justice is covered in Part 6 of Title 39 of the Tennessee Code. Some other offenses in this part include evading arrest, compounding offenses, escape, failure to appear and buckle up, using radar jamming devices. To provide obstruction of justice, the prosecution, to prove obstruction of justice, the prosecution must establish intent. For example, maybe a text message claiming to delete potentially incriminating files, maybe a digital footprint that was recently revealed, right? We don't know. But that is obstruction of justice. Now, in my opinion, that is occurring. And I wonder why, in my opinion, it's being allowed. Let's go ahead and move on. Sebastian's father, Seth Rogers, last spoke to Sebastian on Thursday, February 26th. He asked to see proof of life and was shown that 33 days after his son went missing. TBI was present in revealing the footage. Seth was there along with the mother. The stepfather was not there. TBI showed footage of Sebastian leaving the restaurant outside with his mother, KP, and walking to the car. The two of them were alone. Seth revealed in an interview he was not shown footage from inside. I would like to know why. Because there is footage from inside. I have verified that myself. There is footage inside. They have cameras. Why was that not shown to the biological father? TBI, for some very strange reason, in my opinion, made the decision to show the father, who hadn't seen his son in 33 days, had no idea where he is, has been searching high and low. Well, they made a decision to show him only a portion of the footage, allegedly, in my opinion. I say a portion because I called and they do have cameras inside the restaurant. So why not show this grieving, terrified father every second of the last moments his son was seen? Why not? Why did TBI make the decision to hide or keep the inside footage from the father? Why? Was it because there's two stories out there? On March 25th, the mother says on Nancy Grace one thing, and on April 27th on Web Sleuths, she says that it was her and Sebastian and no other family there. Well, let's listen to what she says on Nancy Grace.
Other than you, Miss Proudfoot, who is the last person that saw or heard Sebastian alive the Sunday before he went missing?
Two of his aunts, a cousin, and the staff where we had dinner.
See? Two aunts, a cousin, and the staff where we had dinner. Two aunts, a cousin, and the staff where we had dinner. March 25th, Nancy Grace. On April 27th, on Web Sleuths, Sebastian's mother claims that it was just the two of them. No other family was there. Now, both of those can't be true. So, what I want to know is, was false information provided to law enforcement? We can't prove that, right? She may have told law enforcement one story and stuck to it. But why is the public being told so many various stories? And why did TBI choose to only reveal the outside footage leaving the restaurant to the biological father? So there's two stories. Proof of life is inside, right? Maybe they didn't tell them, but they heard them wonder, right? I don't know. But there's two stories. Now, we have that they were alone, and we have that two aunts, a cousin, and the wait staff were the last to see and hear Sebastian alive. Both can't be true. There's an exhibit in the RICO filing, Hongji's exhibit, that states the stepfather was at dinner. And so, if this is true, why did they not want the biological father to see him on camera? That gets messy again, right? Why would you keep that from the biological father? Both narratives can't be true. They can't have been alone and with two aunts, a cousin. That gets messy. Already we see we're not dealing with the truth. So, two aunts, a cousin, and wait staff were the last to see and hear Sebastian alive. There's an exhibit stating CP was at dinner. And if that's true, maybe they didn't want Seth to know that CP was there. Why would that be? Why would you cover for a false alibi? Why would TBI allegedly cover for a false alibi? Who was the person from TBI showing the footage that made that decision? Why hide inconsistencies from the father? So, what we have is footage not shown to the father, footage that may reveal an alibi of someone very close to Seth's son, Sebastian, that might not be true if he was there and not in Memphis. We have footage that may show KP saying the two of them alone was not true. We're talking inside footage. Why did Sebastian and KP exit alone if there were other members there? Now, there's rumored that CP was there and left mad and left earlier than them. And then I ask, was that the beginning of the emotional roller coaster he was quoted saying by a reporter that began Sunday night? Little pieces starting to go together. And if it was just Sebastian and KP and no one's trying to hide the fact that that's her truth and they were both just there and she allegedly forgot when she told Nancy Grace it was two aunts, a cousin, and wait staff to last see them alive. Well, if that's the case, then why not just let the biological father see every moment he can of his son? Right? Doesn't make sense, and it's very discouraging. It's very, very discouraging to know that TBI made a decision to reveal only outdoor footage, allegedly, in my opinion. The father was not shown indoor footage, and we need to question why. Why was he just shown pictures of two of them leaving? And if it was just the two of them, why didn't he get to see the whole dinner so he could read the situation, watch every moment? And if it wasn't just two of them, why would a possible false alibi be covered? Why would other relatives being there be covered instead of revealing an untrue narrative? Why cover it up, in my opinion? Or did TBI make that decision because they didn't want the Proudfoots allegedly to know they knew they were in there? More than two. I don't know. But let's look at this photo. Here's allegedly the last dinner. The mother says that this was the last dinner they took. He ordered his favorite salmon. Whoop, stop, wait a minute. That's not salmon. Is that a fried pork chop on his plate? Uh-oh. And look at the arrow up there pointing to a water glass. And if you blow it up and look real close, it's filled about the same level as Sebastian's water glass with water and then the discoloration about halfway up. It's not an empty one, not one that's been fully drunk. Someone sitting across the table. So we have a water glass on the other side for someone, and we don't have salmon on the plate. So either someone fibbed about what he ate. Why would you? Someone, or the photo wasn't taken that night, or she forgot what he ate. And that water glass, in my opinion, belongs to someone else who was sitting across the table. And I wouldn't put it past, in my opinion, to show a photo and say it was the last night if it wasn't, allegedly, because Seth Rogers, when he first showed up, when he was told about the disappearance, allegedly she put a phone in his face and said, "Look, we're having a great time yesterday," and showed him a photo, and it wasn't from yesterday. He said it was from Costco, not where she was saying it was from, allegedly. So, was this photo taken that last night? And there was someone sitting across from Sebastian drinking their water, and the mom forgot he had a possible fried pork chop instead of his favorite salmon? Or is this photo from another night? There's one truth, and it doesn't change. And I'm very, very discouraged. Why would TBI not reveal all the footage to the biological father? I'm sure he's seen it now, and that's why it's in the exhibits. Remember, Dog said they have seen footage, they have footage of an individual in places he said he wasn't, and not where he said he was, in unaccounted time. Now, we don't know who they're speaking about. We're just fishing around right now with what we've been told and what we've heard. So there are cameras inside. And what this means is there's either a cover for CPS's alibi, and that's why the footage was kept allegedly, a cover for KP's inability to tell one truth, allegedly, in my opinion, or they didn't want the Proudfoots to know they had footage and knew it was not just the two of them. I don't know which, but someone's not telling the truth. Someone's not being up and up. Okay? Someone is not being up and up. And what we have here is we have TBI keeping the footage from the biological father. We have a sheriff who has not said one word about Sebastian since in months, August, I believe. And his last words were, "I'm assigning one detective a day." Rotating, by the way. He's been busy running against himself for sheriff. He won. Good job. No word about reward. No thanks. No, we're grateful. Nothing about the trip to Oregon. Nothing about the Canadian borders. Nothing about President Trump eventually getting involved in February. Nothing about the RICO. Silence from the sheriff. This is his jurisdiction. These are his people. Let's get to the trip to Oregon. Why would that never be mentioned in their investigation? Allegedly. Why did they never mention the digital footprint with direct ties, revealing from someone with direct ties to the investigation? Well, in my opinion, either they knew they left for Oregon and let them go, just like they let him go for 17 to 24 hours to pick up his RV. I saw in an interview he said it was no more than 24 hours. Or they weren't investigating and watching the last person who was with the child who's missing, allegedly. No other evidence to prove he left on his own. So why wouldn't you be watching the people who saw him last, the person? So I think, in my opinion, there's some explaining to do, and there will be. When this gets solved, in my opinion, Mr. Craddock has some explaining to do. In my opinion, it will need to be explained why footage was kept from Seth Rogers, the biological father. So hit that notification bell. We're going to keep going for it now. We are going to start revealing the inconsistencies, one right after another, so we can start getting to the truth. So here's the truth we have from this video. There is footage inside the restaurant. It's not just footage of the two of them leaving the restaurant. It was not shown to the biological father. TBI did not show that. They only showed him the outdoor footage. The other truth is, the mother says on March 25th, the wait staff, the two aunts, and the cousin were the last, other than her, were the last to see Sebastian alive. But on April 27th, she tells Web Sleuths it was just the two of them, no family at the restaurant. This is what we've learned. We've learned there's a 4-day weekend, allegedly. We learned there's an exhibit stating CP was in the Texas Roadhouse. And now we're learning indoor footage from the Texas Roadhouse was not shared with the biological father. This doesn't seem right to me. It's discouraging. The whole world's looking, praying to bring this young man home. And the people very closest to the situation aren't telling the truth, because the truth doesn't change, aren't sharing everything, perhaps turning a head or two, turning their back on a few things, allegedly, looking the other way, allegedly. But now the big dogs are in. FBI, the president's coming in, dogs teams in there. And all these investigative things that raise red flags are going to be brought to the surface. And people are going to have some explaining to do, in my opinion, allegedly. We need to bring him home. And the lies and the inconsistencies do not help. It's heartbreaking enough to watch a case where a boy is missing and a mother's not searching. You know who else didn't search? Adam Montgomery. He's behind bars for life. Harmony hasn't been found, but he's been held responsible. You know who else didn't search? Trezell and Jacqueline West. The boys haven't been found, but they've been charged. They're behind bars. It's not good company when you think of what parents don't search, in my opinion. It's heartbreaking. And we're going to look at all of the things that are not truths, because truths don't change. And we're going to start putting these little pieces together. For this video, TBI kept footage from Seth. For this video, Craddock has not said one word in months about people in his community that he promised to serve and protect if elected, running against himself. His election's over now. He was too busy for Sebastian, and he's still not talking about the movement, the reward, the borders, the trip to Oregon. Did you know? Did you let them go? Did you follow them? Lots of explaining to do, and we're going to keep calling it out. We need answers, because we need to bring him home. Talk soon, friends.